So I've talked at length before about how some of my favorite recruiting battles happen between bitter rivals, and today we have the luxury of talking about such a battle. Because one of the top players in all of high school football, a top 10 wide receiver out the state of Texas, Jaquaize Pettaway, has made their collegiate decision, picking between the Texas Longhorns and the Oklahoma Sooners. Ultimately, it was the Oklahoma Sooners who win the battle, and today we need to talk about why this is such a great win for Brent Venables and the Oklahoma Sooners, what this means for the Texas Longhorns, and everything in between. But before we do, as always, y'all know the drill. I need to hear from you. Hop down to the comments, Y for yes, N for no. Are you surprised that Pettaway chose the Oklahoma Sooners? And let me know what you're thinking. If you are new to the channel, be sure to subscribe, hit that bell notification as I do constant college football content. You don't want to miss any of it, and if you enjoyed the content, like and comment down below. But having said all that, let's jump right in, because this is a great win for the Oklahoma Sooners as they look to open up the month of July and really make an impact in recruiting. And this is an impact commit because it jumps the Sooners up 10 spots per the 24/7 Sports class calculator, and they now find themselves as the number 25 class in the nation with plenty of time to go and numerous top prospects, including the Sooners, in their final list. So if you're Brent Venables and company, you are over the moon with this addition. We're going to talk about what he brings to the table in a bit, but it's not surprising that Oklahoma is now finding themselves acquiring a top 100 wide receiver, now nabbing their top 100 player overall to go in their 23 recruiting class. Because we talk at length about how these blue chip quarterbacks are people that these top level playmakers, these top offensive linemen, and even top defensive players want to go play with. And especially if you're talking about a 5-star quarterback who just won Elite 11 MVP. And I'm of the mindset that he could continue rising up recruiting boards if he has a successful senior campaign, because he plays in such a tough division and he's continued to grow as a quarterback. So the sky is the limit for Jackson Arnold and the Oklahoma Sooners, and it makes complete sense that now top-level offensive playmakers such as Jaquaize Pettaway are turning their attention to the Sooners and committing. But what does Pettaway bring to the table in terms of actual skill set? And that is where this gets really exciting, because Pettaway has speed on top of speed on top of speed. So much so that not only has he clocked a 10.55, he's clocked numerous sub 10,500 meter dashes. That's speed you either have or you don't. You really can't teach that, and he did so before his senior year, so he's only going to continue evolving and getting faster. What I really like about Pettaway is his burst, because he gets up to top speed really quickly, and that's the type of athlete that when they get the ball in their hand, they become a very dangerous playmaker. Because not only are they faster than a lot of people, they're quicker than a lot of people, and they can get up to top speed quicker than almost everybody. And one thing I really liked when watching his highlights is once he catches the ball, he can make one move, make a cut, and then he is gone, and you're going to have a real hard time catching him. Even though Pettaway isn't the biggest wide receiver, coming in under 6 foot, which we all know Jeff Lebby likes his big wide receivers, I was really encouraged when watching his film that he does not mind using his body as a physical asset in order to secure the catch. There are numerous highlights of him shielding a defender so that he's the only person that can get a real shot at catching the ball, and he does so in a frame under 6 foot, so he already has an understanding of how to use his body, something I'm sure Jeff Lebby and company will continue teaching him, and in that sense, I don't expect it to be a problem, especially when you look at how not only his high school team utilized him, but how I think he'll be utilized in college, because he is just a threat through and through. Whether that's on special teams, whether that's on screen passes, or as a deep threat, he is someone that keeps a defense honest, and I know Jeff Lebby is going to be very excited to utilize him in this system. We've talked before about how Jeff Lebby likes his bigger wide receivers, but at the same time, having stylistic differences in a wide receiver room makes it really tough for a defense to account for all the different range of possibilities that you can bring to the table. And adding in Pettaway to the Oklahoma Sooners wide receiver room, I think, is a phenomenal addition in speed, burst, and the threat he possesses with the ball in his hands. But what does this mean for the Texas Longhorns as they let a top 100 player leave the state to their rival? And the silver lining for Texas is that you're on an insane recruiting run right now that just saw you get 5-star wide receiver Jonte Cook. Admittedly, One of my favorite prospects in this cycle. I got to see Jonte Cook play in 7-on-7, and there really wasn't anything anybody did to slow him down. He runs fantastic routes. He has got long speed. He's got burst. He's a very complete wide receiver. So Texas is looking good in the wide receiver department, not to mention what they got out of the transfer portal. So when you look at the young wide receivers they already had on roster after last year, what they got in the transfer portal, and the addition of Jonte Cook, plus whoever else is going to be added in, Texas's skill positions are in a great state right now. Whether we're talking running back, wide receiver, or tight end, the future looks really bright in all of those areas, and especially with the addition of Arch Manning, it's going to be very intriguing to see how those ripple effects continue spreading across the nation, as we've already seen them spread like wildfire. I'm very intrigued to see where it goes. So, for both parties, if you're talking about Oklahoma, you're talking about a sensational win, a great win for Brent Venables and company, as now they get their second top 100 prospect, and it comes as a wide receiver to pair along with their 5-star quarterback. On top of that, Pettaway is someone who comes in at number 47 in the nation, and he is within 5-star range, especially if we look at 24/7's personal ratings, in which case they have him as the number 34 player in the nation, meaning don't be surprised at all if you see him finish out as a 5-star. He is that good, and he does have all the requisite skills to be able to claim 5-star status. For the Texas Longhorns, you've been on an insane recruiting run, and let's not get anything mixed up. You would have loved to add in Pettaway. Any addition that could contain both Cook and Pettaway is dangerous, but at the end of the day, because you got in Cook, because you had the success in the transfer portal, and because you still have Arch Manning and those ripples are still spreading, you feel very comfortable with where your class is going, and this is a battle you could afford to lose because of the wins you've taken here recently. So this is going to be something interesting to see. I love when bitter rivals go head-to-head in recruiting battles. Y'all know me, I'm already fanatical about recruiting, but whenever you're talking about these bitter rivals, it just makes it so much more fun for all parties involved, and now every Red River rivalry, you know that's going to be a storyline. Can't wait to hear from y'all. Hop down to the comments, let me know what you're thinking. That's it. See ya.